Catherine's Pier. We are now direct to Westminster. We'll be up there in about 20 minutes. Now on our way upriver, we will... Now you get a lovely photo ahead of us of Tower Bridge. This is the gateway to London. It was opened up in 1894. It's the most easterly boundary of the city, so when we go through, we leave the east end of London behind us. We now enter into the square mile city of London. The two centre bascules of the bridge, they both raise up. They allow larger ships in and out of the upper pool of London. And they've also opened up the two top catwalks. They've turned them into museums today. You can walk across, I believe, for £10 an adult, and they have recently installed a new glass flooring. Through Tower Bridge on our right hand side, the Tower of London. The tower's been a lot of different things in its time, but most famously known for its imprisonment, torture and execution. The oldest part of the tower is the White Tower. It's the one that's right in the middle, and that dates back to 1070. Along the river's wall on our right is a bricked up archway, wrote just above it, entry to the Traitor's Gate. It was once up through the open archway that traitors to the crown, they would have been rode through before being beheaded up on Tower Hill. Just ahead on our left we have the large warship, the HMS Belfast. She was built in the Harland and Wolff shipyard, Belfast, Northern Ireland. The same shipyard that built the Titanic. Saw action during the Second World War. In total, the Belfast has 12 guns. Each one of those guns are capable of firing a 102-pound shell up to 14 land miles. Today at a museum, it's open 7 days a week. You can explore all 7 decks from the crow's nest right down to the engine room. Over on our right hand side, folks, the white building behind the row of trees, it has the clock face and it has the black chimneys on top. That building is Walter Guard's house. It's the headquarters of our country's customs and excise. Any illegal contraband that is taken from our country's ports, like alcohol, cigarettes and drugs, they're all taken to the basement of that building. They're then stored in the basement for 1 month. They are then burnt in the incinerators and they are said to be destroyed. Now folks, I've been working on this river now for 5 years this year, and I have never seen a puff of smoke coming out of those chimneys. But it is very strongly rumoured. On our right, the sandy coloured building, that's the old Billings fish market. There stood a fish market on that site for over 900 years. It was just a few years ago, they moved it further downriver to larger premises. Today, Billingsgate is down at Canary Wharf. Very shortly, look between the buildings on our right hand side, in the skyline, we have a golden top piece. This is a monument to the Great Fire of London. It is said to resemble a lit candle. If you was to lay the monument down in an easterly direction, which is the way we've just came from, it would pinpoint where the fire first took place in a baker's shop in Puddingley. The next bridge is the famous London Bridge. It's always nice to wave at the people on the bridges. There's been 8 London bridges to span the Thames at this point. The one before this one, it was sinking into the mud. Taken down brick by brick, sold off to an American businessman for $2 million. Today, the bridge stands in the Arizona desert, spanning the man-made lake, Lake Havasu. The next bridge is Cannon Street Railway Bridge, the station over on our right hand side. Look beneath the archway on our right, you see the glass windows. Now they've just opened a new sauna over there. They thought they was being clever, putting it beneath a bridge, but they forgot boats like us, we're going through every couple of minutes. Now pretty much all day, every day, we do see semi-naked people in those boxes. Now believe me, some days are better than others, and sometimes you just really wish that you never looked. It's only been a couple of times that we haven't actually turned the boat around before, gone back through the bridge again, but I'm afraid it's not one of those days today. On our right here you see the barges. In the barges are the grey containers. They're all stacked on top of each other, but those containers, they're filled with London's household rubbish. Later on they'll tow the barges downriver to a place called Belvedere in Kent. They've got a large rubbish incinerator there. They burn all of the rubbish. They put the ash onto trains and they send it all to the north of England, and there it is turned into breeze blocks. That's what happens to a lot of London's household rubbish. It's turned into breeze blocks. Over on our left we have the white thatch roof building. That's a replica of William Shakespeare's Globe Theatre. On summer nights you can go over there, you can see all of Shakespeare's greatest plays, all being performed as they would have been done during Shakespeare's times. That's with no stage lighting, no microphones. It is the only thatch roof building in London since the Great Fire. The next bridge is the Millennium Footbridge. It's the newest crossing over the river. Follow the bridge through the buildings on our right hand side and you'll get a very short glimpse of the large dome and golden cross of St Paul's Cathedral. Designed by Sir Christopher Wren, the cathedral is 365 feet tall, that being a foot for every day of the year. On our right hand side, the red bricks building, that is the new City of London School for Boys. They do say many of our future MPs and Prime Ministers, they will attend this school. However, they do say that it is quite a good school. Now, we've got a couple of bridges we're now approaching. The first one is Friars Railway Bridge. The platform and the station, as you can see, it spans the whole width of the Thames. You can get onto it from either side of the river. Look at the roof of the bridge, it's completely solar panelled. On a good day, it can generate up to 70% of the platform's energy. Now we're about halfway, folks, in between St Catherine's Pier and Westminster. How's it going so far? Can everyone understand me okay? Everyone's still listening, yeah? Perfect. So when we go through the bridge, look either side of the boat, you'll see what remains of the old St Paul's Railway Bridge. The modern trains, they did become too heavy. The top half, it was taken down. They left the support columns in place in fear of it disturbing the foundations of the other two bridges. We're travelling with the tide, folks. The tide is pushing us along. The tide is flooding into London. It floods for 5 hours. It then reaches the high water mark. It will then change direction and it will start to ebb out to the North Sea. It ebbs out to sea for roughly 7 hours. We do have a rise and fall of between 6 to 7 metres of water. City of London School for Boys. Over on our left, we're being famous for the gravy stock cube. During the 30s, when the building was being built, advertisement along the banks of the river, it was illegal. Beaches that we do have here on the banks of the river, the fast flowing tide is constantly churning up the mud, never giving it time to settle. That's what gives the Thames that murky effect. When we first got into work this morning, we see a seal up behind us and the city of Westminster, name as it was built during the Second World War by female labour. All of the men, they was away fighting for their country. The ladies of London, they was left at home to construct the bridge. The ladies, they faced it with a very expensive self-cleansing rains here in London, which is about 3 times a day. The face of this bridge, it receives a thorough wash. Span the river that was completed on time and under budget. So what a fantastic job the ladies done. So well done the girls, well done. Through Waterloo Bridge on our right hand side, we have the building with the green roof and Savoy Hotel. Probably the most expensive hotel that we do have here in London. Also on our right on the river's wall, this large stone obelisk, Cleopatra's Needle, grateful Egyptian government over the defeat of Napoleon at the Battle of the River Nile. That stone needle is over 3,500 years old. It's older than to that needle, and that's found in Central Park, New York. Ahead of us at Charring Cross Railway Bridge is the last bridge we're going to go over on our right. The area to our right is the West End of London. It's an old tradition though, we have on it. Crossing over this last bridge and they wave back to you. It's said to be 5 years of good luck. So folks, do try and give them away. Ladies, they should give you a wave back as well. You tend to find the ones that don't wave, they're just from London. So there you go folks, 5 years of good luck. There is one on the other side of the bridge as well folks. So do give this little family a wave. This man will give you a wave. There you go, I knew he was going to wave back. Because he does a great job. We've got the London Eye on our left, London's biggest tourist attraction. The Eye was opened up in the year 2000 and it's 450 pod for every borough of London. Now you can do a lot of different things on the Eye today other than sightseeing. You can do wine tasting, chocolate tasting. You can even get married on the London Eye. Now it's a very small service though folks. What happens is you meet the vicar down at the bottom, you then say your vows on the way up, and then when you get to the top they stop the Eye. You are then pronounced husband and wife. And then it is pretty much all downhill from there. Now folks, we're coming into our final stop now, Weather Summer Fade. Do take this time everyone to look around yourselves, make sure that you've got all your personal belongings. Don't leave nothing on board that might spoil your day. If I could just ask everyone as well to try and remain in their seats until we are alongside the pier. The captain, he will let you know when it is safe to leave. Put the microphone down. Just a short word about the commentary itself. As I said at the beginning of the crew. Now we do these commentaries all on a voluntary basis. Hopefully to make your trips with us a bit more interesting and hopefully enjoyable. Now if you did like the commentary folks and you might like to show some kind of appreciation for my efforts as your guide, you may do so as you leave the boat. I'll be standing just by the exit gate. with the captain's commentary bucket. Do feel free, everyone, to chuck a couple of bob into the captain's bucket for what you may feel my few words were worth. Now, for those of you on board who maybe don't know what a couple of bob is, it is just a very old English word for a £20 note. Thank you all for listening, folks. I do hope you enjoyed the commentary, and I'm sure you're all going to have a lovely day here in London. Do be careful stepping from the boat onto the pier. Thank you. Last one, yeah, 5:30 and 6.